Yo, there's two of you.
Oh, I'm doubled.
What the hell? Every
week you fuck this up.
I
Fluff.
don't do shit. I don't touch anything. Jesus.
Welcome to the New Meta, episode 51, where if we don't start with technical problems, it is not a true New Meta podcast.
I can barely deal with one of you.
Oh, man. Episode 51.
Yeah.
Next week is the big one-year anniversary where we have Quinn 69 coming on.
Yeah.
It's going to be
awesome.
Be dope. Super excited for that.
Yeah.
Super excited for that.
Yeah. Just don't talk too much, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to try, I'm going to try not to.
Great.
I'm going to fanboy out a little bit. Like, notice me, senpai.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
We'll see how that goes. Sure. We did a straw poll last week.
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
And we can pull that up and talk about that one a little bit. And then, to be honest with you guys, we forgot to do one for this week.
We did. Drop one in chat if you guys have a good idea.
Yeah,
while we
do
do
the
the
podcast.
podcast.
Poll, maybe we'll take your suggestion in chat. We were both super busy today, and it honestly just slipped our mind. So it happens. But
the question from last week: did someone spoil Endgame or Game of Thrones for you? Yes, no, don't care, didn't watch. I'm gonna say no. I got lucky.
Okay. I personally got
you got effed.
So I got yes.
No, 60% of the vote was no.
Okay.
27% of the vote was didn't care, and 12% was yes.
12%.
Yeah.
12% of you got screwed, just like me. I'm sorry, guys.
So those are obviously your viewers, idiots, and then everyone.
They it's I don't know, man. The embargo lifted on the spoilers, I guess, officially somehow today. I think it's still kind of early, personally. And then people were so pissed off about Endgame, but they talk about Game of Thrones like it's nobody's business. I mean, if you check Twitter during the episode, people are live tweeting.
That's stupid,
oh
man.
my God, okay. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to not get spoiled, you have to avoid all social media because nobody has tact, I guess.
But now, even the Spider-Man trailer is a spoiler. Like a trailer to see a movie is a spoiler.
Yeah, because it talks about what happens in the movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but it makes sense, though. It makes sense.
I mean, they could have just not updated the trailer. The old trailer was fine. They have to keep coming out with new trailers. I don't know.
It makes me more hyped to see it personally. So I'm like, oh shit, they're actually going to address it and talk about it. So I think that's cool. Because I was kind of on this thing, I can't. I'm going to spoil shit, so I can't talk about it. So we'll just move on.
Right.
We'll just move on.
Sure.
There's still no start date for season 17, to my knowledge, unless one's been dropped recently.
Nope.
Like in the last couple hours.
Nope. But it's such May 17th. Season 17 on May 17th?
It should. And see, here's the problem, man. I got shit going on other weekends, so I hope it's the 17th.
They're gonna. They shouldn't have said that out loud because now they're gonna do it.
I mean, I'm so busy the 17th, man. I can't even play that day.
Yeah.
Drops.
I'll be out of town.
I'm traveling and shit. I'll be gone all weekend.
Yep. Oh man, hope they don't do it. 17th.
So I really would like to know because I have unavoidable things going on the next couple weekends. So I really hope this could really screw up, the seasonal leveling plans that I have.
Yeah, and I don't understand. They have to know. What they're not. What are they waiting on? I don't understand. It's always really late. We do this every season. We're when's the date? When's the date? When's the date? And again, we have to go back to what Chris Wilson had to say at GDC, where it's if fans know that every 3 months you're that's when you hit new content. They're gonna show up, and Diablo is always in the air.
The 17th is a week after Friday, so we got it's 10 days from now,
right?
Something like that, It's no notice. People have to make plans. The seasonal launch is a very important thing to a lot of people, and you're gonna get babysitters. You're going to plan your
people to get time off work
and schedules, and this is graduation. So my thing is my oldest daughter is graduating. So
oh shit!
I have to go to her graduation on Saturday.
What is this a junior high graduation or some shit?
No, this is a senior in high school graduation.
What? Man, you're old as fuck.
I'm younger than you, sir.
Senior in high school? What the heck? Are you a teenager? Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
So I have to attend a graduation on Saturday. Now, if I stay up all night leveling in the season, I can't go to that graduation looking like ass on no sleep, you know? So we'll see. Hopefully it's not the 24th. That would suck for me, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll have to drop you from the group.
Yep, you have to get kicked from the group.
Yep.
That would suck, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, though.
Right.
Though, as soon as you think Blizzard can't dig any more,
I know, man.
right? As much negative PR as they've had in the last 8 months, 9 months, however long it's been since BlizzCon. Now they got spyware in their fucking app to get into BlizzCon. This blows my mind.
Yeah.
Their app wants access to pretty much everything.
Like literally everything.
Literally everything. It's asking for contacts. It's asking for access to your camera roll. It's asking for your GPS location, even when you're not using the app. I mean, the amount of shit that this thing asks for.
Credit card. Like, it's literally, it's insane. It's actually insane. Like, this is
and
like so offensive.
You're agreeing to allow them to give this to third party, consent to third party, you know, sharing with partners who could change in the future without consent. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know, dude. It blows my mind.
It's actually it's actually fucking crazy. And what I mean, obviously they're doing it because they're going into the mobile space. Like, that's pretty obvious. Why they need as much information as they're trying to fetch? It's just like, to me, it's like it's almost like they didn't even know. Like this company's like, oh yeah, we'll like farm data for you, no problem.
Yeah.
And then boom.
It's like it's a QRC code to validate your ticket. So this app needs internet access, and that's it. Like, it needs access to authenticate an account.
I think
that you can provide them.
What could be really like App Store history? I feel like that's fair. You know, like if you're trying to get some data on like what people like, and it's obviously their cell phone. What else do you need, man? Like, get out of shit. Like, it's crazy.
You want access to my fucking camera roll, dude? Like,
no.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, I'm at BlizzCon. What if I bring, you know, P-Wifey with me and we have a good time, and you're trying to get access to my camera? You know, who knows what happens?
Shit, it probably gives access to your whole photo library.
That's what I'm saying, man.
There's some stuff on there. I don't want people to have. No, wait. You know how many dick pics I take per day? Oh my god!
It's gotta be in the hundreds. Gotta be.
It's like, oh, this is a nice light in here.
Hey, look at the angle and lighting on this one.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, I don't know. It's like, I don't think Blizzard. Is it possible for Blizzard to shoot themselves in the foot any more than they are?
It's just. Like, it's so embarrassing at this point, because it's like, it's almost like, you know, you and I had to like, we've defended Blizzard a lot, I feel like, through all of this. And, you know, as big Diablo streamers, we take a lot of the, you know, like the blunt of the,
this game sucks, your game is dead, why are you still playing this garbage? You suck, you're fat, you're ugly because you play this game.
So it's like, you know, it's it's hard to keep seeing him just make mistake after mistake, you know, because it's like, man, like, we're trying to help you, like, we're really trying to help you. Like,
I noticed that in general, like, as time has passed since BlizzCon, I went from, like, you know, I defended them a lot at BlizzCon, honestly, and as time has gone on and they've kept making mistake after mistake and thing after thing, like, I've gone to like a sarcastic, joking kind of tone with them. But I know that I've lost people because of it. I know that there are the diehard Blizzard fans that are mad at me and stuff for it. But it's like, at some point, I'm just like, sorry, guys. Like, man, you know, I'm not really resentful at Blizzard. Like, if they get their shit together, I'm all aboard. I'll be back on the bandwagon. But stuff like this is comical to me now, because it's like, how? Yeah. What? Like, how do you keep doing these same things? Like, who is in charge? Who is overseeing this stuff? Like, how does this get through? I don't understand.
Yeah.
If you think a memo would go out that would be like, listen, to company-wide,
Right.
all Blizzard employees, I really need you to make better judgment calls because we are looking like asses right now.
Right.
Stop fucking up in caps. Just stop fucking up.
It's probably like, hey,
please.
we need to like capture some data from people's phones. Like, let's get somebody in here that does that. And they're like, so they shop a little bit. Like, well, these guys will do it for like basically no money at all. And there's like, oh, but they're gonna capture like literally everything on your phone and sell it on
let
Pornhub.
people opt in, maybe. Like, say, hey, we're trying to get some data. There's an optional, just make it like a screen that pops up when you open the app. Like, hey, can we collect some data for something? And of course, nobody's gonna do it,
Right.
But you might get a couple people that don't read and click through it, right? But
Sure.
at least you can say, well, we asked you in the app if you wanted to submit this
Yeah.
data, and you said yes.
Right.
Then you didn't read. Okay, cool. But I got to imagine this is going to change. Like, are they just going to fucking ignore this?
Right.
And then
It's got to be the same people that were like, you know what? We need a good PR after BlizzCon. Let's come out with a marketing strategy where people send us pictures of them playing Diablo 3 on the Switch.
I'll give them a.
And we'll give them Diablo 3 on the Switch.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like
The
shit
same
like this.
team.
Like, how
The same
do
team.
you keep doing this? Like, who's responsible? You let go of 800 people. I'm sure, like, some of those 800 people would not have made this mistake.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crappy. It's funny. It's really not because, like, it's funny to me because I'm not going to BlizzCon more than likely. I mean, unless Blizzard extends
Sure.
the olive branch, but we'll talk about that later too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can wait. We can wait a little bit because
Yeah.
Dusky's asking in chat.
So-
but yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think that this is, they did say that there's an option to go to like the customer service desk and get your tickets that way if you don't have a phone or something. I don't know if that was a joke or if it was
Right.
literal or I don't know what the case was. I think they didn't say if you don't have a phone. They said if your battery goes dead. But they avoided that one.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
moving
that
on.
line's going to be ridiculously long. Like it's probably going to be one lady working there, and the line will go all the way around the block 7 times. So
Yeah. Yep. Yep. But yeah. But one of the
what else
things
do we got?
I thought was interesting is I saw this article where it's like from like a higher up from Blizzard that's basically he like drove home that like they're really excited. I'll just read what it says. But basically saying that like we're highly motivated to get content out, and then it says it includes ongoing content for World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and a couple of mobile initiatives. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, oh god, a couple like what's coming? Is more World of Warcraft mobile coming to BlizzCon this year? Couple mobile initiatives. That's terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's.
no
Diablo.
So yeah, second most, that's exactly right. Is that there's no mention of Diablo. There's no mention of like PC content outside of those 3 games, which Hearthstone's like barely a PC game.
I'd rather play Hearthstone on my iPad. I think personally.
Really, over a PC. I could. See
I can lay in bed at least.
Sure. Sure.
Like,
wow.
Why
don't you just beg them for Mortal? Gosh.
I know. That's just like the one game that I think that they made the perfect transition to a phone or tablet with. Like
right.
That's a perfect segue into it. But and again, I think like if they made a World of Warcraft battle pet app, which apparently I've read articles that they're working on something like that, some kind of battle pet, because that's a game in WoW that people love, and I'm not personally into it. But there's a lot of people that like love Pokemon and stuff,
sure.
and that's just kind of their thing.
And I don't have a problem with
cool.
that, right? Like little mini games you can get on your phone, like a WoW pet thing that supports the game that you love, and like it gives you like a little something to do while still in that game universe, like throughout the day. I'm totally fine with that. But like when it's like Diablo Immortal, it's like it's a fresh title that's just for the phone, like that. That's when I'm like, God damn it, like that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Furthermore, he goes on to say, we're pretty impatient to get all the content in front of the community, and that's the reason We've significantly increased their developer headcount, blah, 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 like they've always been saying. But he's very specific to that content, like World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, a couple of mobile initiatives.
Is this related to, and maybe you're going there, is this related to this is from the earnings call that they had?
Yeah.
Where did this conversation come from?
Sure. It's quarter one earnings call, yeah.
The quarter one earnings.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost, did you see the articles where they lost 8.5% of their monthly player base?
On
Have
WoW?
you seen that? No, Blizzard in general.
Just in general. Okay.
In general. Okay, across all of Blizzard's IPs. So they had, one of the videos I watched had broke down numbers from 2016. So Blizzard's monthly active user count has gone down 8.5%. And I'm kind of guessing the numbers here because I don't remember exactly what the video said, but it started off somewhere in the 36 to 38 million range, and it climbed, and then in 2018 it started to go down again, and now it's back really close, or maybe even below the numbers in 2016, back in the 30-something million range, like 35 million, 36 million, something like that.
Right, but that's not to say that that's not recoverable. I think the
but it's 8.5. The end game ended up being it was an 8.5% loss in quarter one of 19. It's an 8.5% dip.
Right.
So, I mean, and there are factors for that,
right.
but it comes down to this content. This is why this guy is hyping up all this. Oh, we're working on content for these games. Because what did they put out in quarter one 19?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And from the earnings call, it didn't sound like they're putting anything out period this year. So that's why we were both kind of surprised that there would be a BlizzCon 2019. But yeah,
I didn't expect it.
Also, in news, BlizzCon's not going to be at Gamescom, which I think it's the first time they haven't been there in a while, a really long time. So we don't know what that means, but it's not promising. That's for sure.
Right.
But on the flip side of that coin, there's this. And so there's a clip floating around the internet of Quinn69.
Yeah, just
big time Diablo streamer. I'm just going to play it.
The Diablo. The team specifically invited me to go to BlizzCon this year. Way in advance. It says yo, it's the Diablo team. We want you to come to BlizzCon this year. Okay, and they're offering a media pass and shit. Okay, so I'm just saying.
That's no small thing.
The emojis behind it are so fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, dude. So there are other rumors that I've been hearing.
Okay.
Anonymous sources have told me that there are trailers for Diablo 4 floating around as well. Now, I don't,
Yeah, I mean, they want to sell BlizzCon tickets.
I've heard this from a couple people. I don't know the validity of the sources.
Sure.
I kind of let those things roll off. But I think that Quinn getting invited to BlizzCon holds a pretty big. That's a lot of weight. I mean, that's probably the biggest Diablo streamer ever, and by probably I mean it is. I can't think of anybody else on that level. So
yeah, what's that guy's name? The Hearthstone player now, Crip. But yeah,
Crip. Yeah. I mean, but he's probably the guy that I would want to get. Now the thing is, though,
100%.
You wouldn't invite Quinn if it were Diablo Immortal because Quinn's gonna fucking rip
see,
you
that's where I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you because this is where I went back. First,
I think Quinn's fucking honest, man. I think he would trash.
Hang on. So when I first saw this, I was like, oh shit, maybe there's actually something on the horizon. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, and all the times that Diablo Immortal has been brought up in the stream, and I'm in the stream as much as I can be, he's been very, very much like us, where we're like, we're going to try it. Bottom line, we're going to try it. And, it's a new Diablo game. Love Diablo. It's on a mobile. It could be a good game. We don't know. Unless they make an announcement that says this game's pay to win. Yeah, we're going to play it. So I think, that that message has been heard. So I don't think that necessarily means anything outside of Diablo Immortal.
I mean, the game would need to impress. I think that they better have, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess Blizzard's super confident in the game because they thought it was going to be a bomb drop last BlizzCon, and it wasn't. You know, I think that they thought it was. I have to think they thought it was going to do well. You know,
right?
And if they're inviting Quinn out for Diablo Immortal, I would see, like, Quinn's not dumb. He's not going to sell them out. And in that email, they may have told him what they wanted to talk about or show.
No.
At least you don't think that?
No.
You don't think they would say anything?
No, it's like,
if I were Quinn, I would reply back and be like, "What do you got? You know, what do you want?"
No, because like you think about, okay, so we don't have a lot of insight to this because neither of us were invited to stream at BlizzCon, but like Dusky like got an invite and they're basically just like, "Hey, we want you to stream during the event." Like they didn't tell him what. They didn't tell like they told him there was like something else, like something that wasn't Diablo 3, but like there's no information. So I assume it's the same kind of situation where it's like, hey,
maybe. But see, if I were Quinn, I would reply back and be like, "Is it the mobile game?"
Of course, but they're not going to say shit. Like we've talked to some like Blizzard people, and we know for a fact like they're not giving us shit. We're not really prying.
Dusky's in chat right now. He said that's 100% true.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would, if I were him, I would ask, "Is it immortal?" And I think if I were the Blizzard team, I would reply back and just say something without confirming, but just be like, "Yeah." I would tell him, "Yeah," in a way, you know, a roundabout way, so that way he knows to make an informed decision if he wants to travel out to.
Well, absolutely, right? Because he's in a different situation because he's in New Zealand or whatever. But like,
well, I mean, anybody, even for us, from you know.
Sure, but the other thing is we don't have insight on because we've never been asked to stream at BlizzCon or to be a part of anything. Is it like, do you have to, like, is there something you have to sign that says, like, okay, it's kind of like, you know, we take a bounty. Like, as streamers, we take a bounty on Twitch sometimes where we get paid to play a game. And it's like, don't overly badmouth the game. Like, it's just something you have to agree to. So if you're sitting there talking shit, you don't get paid. And it's the same thing as, like, if you start being like, fuck this stupid mobile game. Like they're just like pull you off the stage or whatever.
But like,
you
can go punchy, right?
You can go punchy, yeah. So, I mean,
so listen, I don't know, man. And that being said, I don't think I'm with you. I remember at the time, and I remember the time being pissed off we didn't get more Diablo, but I do remember playing Diablo Immortal and thinking like, this isn't garbage. This game could potentially be okay. Like, if they market it right and monetize it right, it could be okay. So if they have more to show off in that, it's cool. I don't think that's enough by itself to please Diablo fans, though. And you're inviting the biggest Diablo fans to BlizzCon again after last year to stream Diablo Immortal. Like, I think you got to realize what you're doing to yourself there. You know, like, even if your game is the shit, like, it's been marketed in a way, like, mistakes were made in a way that you can't do that now. Like, you have to let word of mouth spread that this game is the shit.
I see. I'm with you in a sense. I hear what you're saying, but you got to think about the inherent honeymoon phase of a game that happens. So, like, we were both upset after the BlizzCon announcement. I went over there and played it, and I'm like, and if I've been streaming for that first hour that I've been playing, I've been like, you know, this isn't really that bad. Like, this is, for like a mobile game, like, this is fine. Like, this is actually not that bad. So it's like, it's the same. I feel if we got a fully fledged, like, you know, Diablo Immortal, whatever that means, and like you're sitting down, you're playing it, like, there's going to be that. It takes like a week for you to be like, fuck this game. It's stupid. Like,
as long as the monetization's right. And as long as it has some depth, which it looked like it was going to have some depth to it. I mean, we didn't get to experience it for real. The static levels scare me a little bit.
100%.
That scares me. And we didn't get to equip any loot, so we don't really know how that worked. But if it had depth and it wasn't a pay-to-win scheme, I don't see how any mobile game's not pay-to-win. Every mobile game's pay-to-win. Right. I can't think of a good mobile game that's not pay-to-win.
I can't think of a mobile game besides Hearthstone.
Well, I mean, that's why I can't think of one. Right. But Hearthstone's pay to win.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
fucking pay to
100%.
win like crazy.
But it's like TCGs.
then-
What do you expect, right?
Yeah, and you know, Candy Crush, Sugar Crush, whatever, all those crushed candy things, they're all pay to win.
Yeah.
Fortnite is pay to skin. I don't really call that the FPS mobile. I don't even know how people can play that shit on a phone, to be honest.
Right.
So, but you know what? Here's some numbers though.
Okay.
I think it was. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was the president of Epic who said that Fortnite had a 50 million player base, and then they hit the mobile market, and their player base went from 50 million to 250 million.
We're fucked.
Think about that shit.
We're
for a
literally
second.
fucked.
That is insane. You know what I mean? 50 million to 250 million. It's dude, it's where we're going, man. There's no getting around this shit. It's gonna happen. Like eventually, we just gotta wait until cell phones are more powerful than current gen hardware. Once your mobile is more powerful than your PS4 in 5 years, then okay, I mean, it's still not gonna be as powerful as your PC.
No.
But if the developers don't make games, like here's an example of hardware not getting games. The PlayStation Vita, I personally thought was a great piece of hardware. It was fun, it was cool, but no developers supported it after the first 6 months of launch, and the system died because it had no support. PC will be the same if these guys realize that all the money's in mobile. You know, there'll be one or two guys that are like, yeah, we're making PC games. Yo, come spend your money with us.
Right.
And everybody else is going to be like microtransactions.
Right.
You know?
So this is where this is where I'm stuck. So round 2 BlizzCon tickets go on sale tomorrow, actually, and it's at an hour that I can't even be asleep. So there's a good chance that I could get a ticket if I really tried.
Yeah.
But like, where are we at? You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Yeah.
I can't, man. Like, I want to go, but I just when I sit there and think about it, like, that's a lot of money that I could have taken my family somewhere, done something cool with the fam. You know, there's so many things that I could have done with that money, and I went to BlizzCon expecting Diablo 4, and we didn't get it. Didn't get Diablo 2 remaster. We got kind of the worst case scenario, I think, that we probably could have. And it was awesome to meet people. It was really cool to meet the other content creators. But like, you know, I was hanging out in Dusky's stream the other day, and he said it exactly how I feel. We spent like $1,200 to go meet other content creators. We could have had a meetup. We could have said, hey guys, everybody want to go, all the Diablo crew want to go meet up in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, y'all want to go meet up in Chicago or wherever, you know, like pick a spot. Let's go meet up there, you know. Yeah. It cost a lot less money, and I still would have had the same experience.
Sure.
You know, not quite the same
But
experience.
okay, on the flip side of the coin, think of what the experience would have been like had we gone to BlizzCon and we actually got like a Diablo 4 trailer or something like that.
It probably would have been one of the best trips of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's like do you roll that dice again?
Think about the mood that we had. Like, how much fun were we having up until that moment when it announced, man? Like, remember the energy that you and I had as we were walking through, and we're like, I'm calling Dusky on the phone. I'm like, Dusky, where you at, man? Give me some tickets or give me some seats. And he's like, I got 3 seats for you. I'm like, oh shit. And we were just so hyped, dude. Yeah. And then the Diablo music came in, and we're like looking at each other like, oh
Diablo
shit.
It's like, oh fuck. Because I was like, this is Diablo 2 music, and you're like, oh shit, you're right. Oh fuck.
Yep. It's like, oh shit, Diablo 2 remaster.
Yeah.
You know, but nope. It was like, it was so fucking cool. And then after that, it was so just, oh man. Yeah. You know, like we made a good time out of it, but I think both of us got into like a little, you know, like I was a little crabby, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and I think everybody was, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, man, I don't know. Yeah. And it's like, it was a shitty time to like be even a streamer, like, you know. Riker was being attacked, Bloodshed was being attacked because like they weren't openly speaking out like against it, and it's just like it was a mess. So like
I mean, I had people. I had to put out fires in my own, like my community. I think everybody's community was like this. My community was imploding on itself. Like I had people. Yeah. I pull my Discord up, and there are people in my Discord fighting. Because some people are like, fuck Immortal, and some people are like, you're stupid for saying that. And like they're like going at each other. And I'm like, man, this is dumb. Like why am I having to deal with this shit? Like, guys, stop. Right. You know? Like just stop.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was a crazy time.
I don't know, man, but Quinn getting invited to BlizzCon, I agree. I don't think that means we're going to get Diablo 4. I don't think we're going to get an announcement. I personally am with you. It's been a year since we had any Immortal activity, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be an Immortal thing. I would be surprised if he's not in the loop somehow before he accepts that invitation. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
If I were him, I would say, listen, are you guys trying to ask me there to come stream Diablo Immortal?
Yeah.
They're not going to say no and then expect him to do it.
Sure.
They're going to be like, that's probably a good estimate. Or, you know, I don't know how you could say yes to that. And Quinn's professional. He's not going to squeal. He's not going to tell. He's not going to be like,
no,
yo, guys,
of course
ask me to
not.
stream Immortal. He wouldn't do
but
that.
I don't know that I'm convinced that like Quinn wouldn't go if it was for like say like they're like, okay, we'll give you a meeting pass.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll pay for his flight. I don't fucking know what they do.
Maybe we could ask him next week. I don't know.
But like, you know, it's like because it's not that he's not interested in the game because he said, you know, multiple occasions, just as we have, it's like we're probably gonna try. Like it's. Which I know, like a lot of people are just waiting for you to say, you know, something so they can jump on you for it. But
by the way, next week, if you guys didn't know this, we do have Quinn on the show next week. So if you have questions for him, we do a question section at the end of every podcast.
Probably the most populated.
So if you guys have questions for Quinn, I'm obviously gonna filter it out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have to like filter them some. But if you have like good questions for Quinn and for us, like make sure that you use the. You know, link them to me on Twitter. I'm gonna put a thing up for it early this week, so you guys have time to get your questions in. Anyway, shameless plug for next week.
Sure.
More things. So we don't know when the season's starting at all. But remember that if it does start next week, to save your challenge rift.
Save your challenge rift.
Save your challenge rift. I'll make a video guide for it if you know, I haven't made one in a long time. But I'll make a video guide if you guys have any kind of struggles with the challenge rift. They're all pretty easy for the most part, but some of you guys haven't played all the classes, so
this season is different because we get 35 DBs, so this changes things up. So you can upgrade a legendary in the cube, which is good. Yep. It's gonna make our leveling.
So it'll
faster.
be interesting. I gotta start thinking about leveling stuff. Like I haven't really put much time into it at all. I'm gonna play Necro, so I'm gonna have to
leech off me. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the thing is still trying to get rings. You know.
Yeah, 100%. It's an Arius start. So I mean, getting a what's it called? Blood type blade would be like the dream. I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah,
be good stuff. So we'll go over that stuff, and hopefully for not next week's, but maybe the week after that, if the season hasn't hit yet, we'll
sure,
we can discuss some options on that and pointers and tips and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What time is it? We got some time. We can.
I really wanted to get into this.
Yeah.
So Chris Wilson is like the Grinding Gear Games PoE guy, right? Like I don't really know his title, to be honest, but he's like one of the lead honchos over there. He like wrote a letter to the community. Like they're gonna do this big Q&A coming up pretty soon, but just, you know, because PoE is super open and transparent, he just wrote this letter to the community, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff in this. Like the more I hear him talk, like just the more I like the guy. But the big thing that kind of blew me away about this is that he openly says in this, you know, letter to the community that he's not going to merge Synthesis, which is the current league, with like basically the next big patch. So normally what happens, because I know you're not a PoE player, they take the old league like Delve. You know, you've heard that.
Yep.
And they like somehow
it
stays in the game, but you know, obviously it gets like dumbed down a bit because like it can't be like this thing that you do all the time like it usually is. Like so every league mechanic for that league, you see it like all the time. And you're doing it like all the time. And then it gets like rolled over and you see it like less, but it's still there. It's still like a kind of organic thing. But they're just not even going to put Synthesis in the next league, which is fucking crazy to me because I
So
guess
they're basically just like, this was a one-time content. Like, boom, it's done after this.
yeah,
leak.
I guess
It's gone
because
out of
it's
the game.
like he was basically like it's clear that it wasn't very well received and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But it's just like wow, because like
I've heard a lot of people. So this is the first time in the history of PoE for me personally that I've seen people tell me that they're tired of it and they didn't like the league. And and so like historically people come tell me about PoE because they want to get me to play it. I get asked. I'm not even joking. Every single day of my life, when are you gonna come play PoE? And and like it's
But
finally
seriously.
died down the last couple weeks.
okay,
And I see people that I know are playing it, and I'm like, oh, what are you playing right now? And they're say a game, and I'm like, not PoE, and they're like, nah, man, this new league kind of sucks. That's kind of like the general response I get from them.
right.
So
This still
it's cool that they acknowledged it. Though. They're like, well,
it's
hey, this
cool.
wasn't a big hit.
But this still blows my mind because to me it's like so I vividly remember like pretty much most leagues and when they came out and the players' feedback because I always been a big follower of PoE, and Bestiary was by far and away I felt like the most controversial league, and like when it first came out, people fucking hated it. It really wasn't until like way down the road until literally this league that they made it like decent. And that's staying in. So that like, and then they had this syndicate, or not the syndicate, but the incursion, where you basically just run like this static temple over and over. That's staying in. But to me, the synthesis league and the Nexus is like it's way better than both of those. So it's like it's almost unfortunate to me that the community is like, no, we want this out of our game because like it's better than like two of the things that are in the game.
Is it a requirement to do it though?
Requirement to do what?
So like the way that
No,
I
you
thought
don't have-
PoE
you don't have
works
to do
is, like,
any
you
of
can
it.
kind of do
Yeah.
whatever. So like, why would it even hurt them to leave it in the
Right.
game? Because somebody out there likes it. There's always that one guy, right?
Right.
There's that one guy that wants to run a melee wizard, and it's
Right.
like, let him have it. You know what I mean? Let him have it.
Right.
It might be stupid to everybody else, but that one guy loves that shit.
Sure.
So
And to
maybe
me,
there's some
there's so much
issues
there.
or
There's-
performance.
There's
or,
so much content there, and it's just
there's
like
gotta be something.
it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that one, like people kind of complain about just the vast, crazy amounts of content that PoE gets. Like you're out of your mind. First of all, like I don't want to like shit on PoE players, but it's like Jesus
they're throwing
Christ.
content out. They get so much content they don't even give a shit. They're like, we don't like this. Just
Right.
get rid of it. Just throw it away.
But
Meanwhile,
it's such a waste. Like I know that he mentioned that like okay, well we could bring it back like later on or whatever. But man, like to me, dump Bestiary, dump Incursion, don't dump the Nexus. Fucking hell. But what do I know?
So is this the same article where he talked about the 4.0 mega expansion?
Yes. And so going on, he's like, this kind of the reasoning behind like how like we weren't really. We didn't have as much time to test this like synthesis leak as which we wanted because like a lot of our dev effort is going into this what he calls quote PoE's like mega 4.0 expansion, and like you got to think when
That gets me hyped, but I don't even play the game, dude.
when PoE says something like mega like like every expansion that PoE has is like fucking huge, like massive, like Fortnite levels of content. Like it's insane actually
Right.
what they do over there. So it's like when he says mega, like normally I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, dude. But like when PoE says mega, that sounds fucking crazy to me. Like whatever is coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be excited to see what the 4.0. Maybe they're gonna like overhaul the UI.
It could. I don't know. People have been saying like graphics update. I've heard that.
Graphic
thrown out a
updating
line.
UI, man, and I'd be sold. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm a PoE player, boys.
Yeah, right. That'll be 2 years in podcast down the line. Like, still haven't tried PoE.
Well, I still haven't. Maybe next week I'll do it. Oh man, that's too funny.
But yeah, and so then he goes on also to say like, what could have happened was like they could have done what's called like a development crunch, which is like very near and dear to both of us as engineers, like where he just like they make people work like overtime and stuff like
Crazy
that,
time,
and
man.
he's just like that's just straight up not what we're gonna do, like, at all. So like it's gonna, if you guys want stuff, know that it's gonna take time, and like know that we're not gonna like lean on that. And then he goes on to say that we'll even offer like optional overtime if people really want to, but like that's pretty baller in and of itself. But then even after all this, which is like a huge amount of like probably more information in this one letter to the community than like Diablo's probably communicated like all year, like, to be honest. But then later this week, I guess, there's a huge like Q&A coming, which I don't know if that it's just for the next patch or for this big Mega 4.0 or whatever. But either way,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
You can't have a Q&A without some kind of content drop before it. Otherwise, what's the Q&A about?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's probably...
They got to tease
yeah.
4.0 and then Q&A about it.
Well, I think it's going to be the tease for the 3.7, which is the next big... It's the melee buff that they keep talking about, and it's going to be big and whatever, so... It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah,
Jealous.
I mean, it looks interesting. So, like I said, as time goes on, I'm more and more intrigued to the point where I'm actually following PoE. I don't even play the game, but I follow it. And I watch enough people that play it. You know, I hang out in your stream, I hang out in Dusky's stream, and you guys are playing that shit all the time.
Right.
So I've seen enough to be like, man, this is getting content looks amazing.
Sure.
You know, it's like, ooh, new shit to play. Man, what's that feel like?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny too, because I was mentioning like, I still get that feeling even though I've been playing like a ton of PoE this league. I still have that like deep down feeling sometimes that like it's all for nothing still, because like I'm so programmed to be like a Diablo player and like know that I'm going to be pushing the leaderboards like later, and I'm doing all this so I can get a higher position on the leaderboard. That's like all I'm doing it for, right? And so like I just always have that. I don't know what it is. It's like in the back of my head. It's just like
well, I think that's just, you know, it just you're rooted in Diablo. That's your main squeeze. That's your first girlfriend. You know, your first love. So you can have your new side chick, but as soon as that first love calls you back up, you're gonna be like, hey baby, I've been thinking about you. You're like looking over your shoulder. I miss you too. You know. But yeah. I'm with you though. And then so did you play more Last Epoch?
I did. So closed beta for Last Epoch happened. It started last Tuesday, and we played a lot of that on stream.
That looks cool as shit. What is that thing?
So yeah, that's my Lich form. I played what was called, I think it was just a Lich. I don't know, something like that. But it's like
you guys listening to the podcast, Fluff's shown video of him playing last week, and he looks like a Grim Reaper. Yeah, literally running around.
The only problem is you'll notice is, as I'm playing, it's like, well, I'm spamming one skill. Like that's all I'm doing. I curse and then I spam. So it's like Blight Spear, or not Blight Spear, but Poison Scythe, but like way less intricate, I guess. So the way it works is like there's a big passive tree, just like Diablo 2, really, where it's like you kind of spec like heavily into things that you think will be like really good for your build, and then each skill that you have, you get 20 points, and every skill has its own skill tree, and you get 20 points to spend there per skill, which is cool. You know, one of the things I kept iterating over the time that I was playing it is that of all the ARPGs I've been playing, like Wolcen, Torchlight, you know, Pagan, everything, right, is of all of those, this is by far and away the most in-depth I've seen so far. Like, there's more here happening than anything else that I played. But that being said, it didn't, maybe because it was a class that I picked, but like it just nothing really would seem to work that well together other than this like one melee skill with the curse. Like everything else is like felt pretty blah. The UI it's okay, but you know, you can see it's like it looks a little clunky. I mean, that stuff can be polished or whatever, but you know, the big takeaway I think is that there's a lot to be worked on still, and I have a fear they seem to be moving at a very good pace, which is good for them. But there's still so much to do, and they plan on releasing next April. So, I mean, I hope the best for them. I honestly want them to succeed because I want there to be other really good options for ARPGs, for us ARPG fans, right? Like, I don't want them to fail, but, you know, there's a lot of bad to go with a little bit of good. So, But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting playthrough. I mean, I feel like I played everything there was in just like a day and a half. I pretty much had maxed everything out. So
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay.
cool. Yeah, I like hitting the updates on it. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll, push out even more stuff next time and get to see more things.
Yeah, and they're constantly updating it. Like I had a bug, day one where like my character would just be going. I'd go into that lich form and I'd be invisible, and then like it was just fixed like immediately the next day. So that's always cool. So
the speaking of other games, switching gears slightly, just a little bit, but Apex. I know that you enjoy some Apex.
Yes.
They started talking about their anti-cheat stuff, and they had a update a couple days ago where they openly talked about that a little bit. And I just always find this interesting to see, especially a free-to-play game where these guys can just continuously make accounts.
Right.
But they said that that they added an in-game reporting tool, and that's had a big impact on like how they can find these bots. So people have the ability now to report players that they think are cheating, and I guess through that, then they can kind of directly target people. I don't know. And then so that's helped them detect cheats that they can now find automatically with some of their cheating software. The total bans, they've banned 770,000 players for cheating, which is almost 1 million players have been caught cheating on that game, which is insane.
That's really
Fucking
insane.
cheaters, scumbags, man.
I know, man.
Blocked over 300,000 account creations, and they've banned 4,000 cheat seller accounts. These are the guys that are like selling the cheats in the game. So
In the last 20 days.
Yeah. In 20 days. Yeah, 20 days they banned 4,000 accounts. Sorry.
Right.
So it's just interesting to see the efforts, and this just tells you like how crazy of a job it is to keep the cheats away.
Yeah.
And like Diablo suffers from this a lot,
time,
and it's something that I think we can relate to. But the amount of effort that Apex has to put into this to stay on top of it, I just don't think the funding is there for Diablo. So like I constantly bitch about bots.
Yeah.
I know everybody doesn't like bots. I think like this kind of highlights like how many people are willing to cheat at a game if the tools are there readily available, and how much resources it actually takes for them to stay on top of it.
Yeah, one of the things that I took away from BlizzCon, because we actually met, I think, someone on the team of like anti-cheating.
I remember what he looked like. I don't remember his name, unfortunately.
I don't remember his name either, but I remember like having a feeling after that conversation that there were things coming.
Yeah, he said that. He was like, there's things. I can't tell you about it, but there's things. Trust me, there's things.
But like
there was never things.
Maybe he meant like really far down the line.
Maybe he meant for the new game that's coming out.
As we see the Switch leaderboard, we see the console non-season leaderboards, we see the blatant cheating on PC every season.
Right.
From the same people. Which is just crazy. But I digress.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm with you. But at least this kind of sheds some light and makes me not as upset. It's like, like I see what they got to deal with. So
yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Apex luckily has the money to deal with it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But
do you want to? Well, Apex is dropping down the Twitch directory
because they're not coming out content, man. Like
is that what it's going on?
Yeah. What's weird to me is like, so I've been in some Shroud streams. So like they had Shroud, they had Dr. Disrespect, they had like all those guys come out and just like play the game before the game even came out.
Right.
Just to like get feedback from them, which is like amazing and like my dream, right?
Right.
Our dream, really, right?
Right.
But he said like the amount of content that I saw, like when I was invited out there to play the game, and like the amount of characters he saw, the amount of guns he saw, was like just, he said like way more. Like there's so much more coming. So it's like they've got stuff apparently they're just sitting on, which is like crazy to me, because like you gotta get something out there. But yeah, I don't know.
Must be gotta be some reason to do it. Twitter questions, man. You want to hit some up?
Yep. No, actually, no. That's it.
No Twitter questions? All right, guys. See you.
Yeah, let's hit them.
Again, this is the Twitter section of the podcast. If you guys haven't seen the segment before, you can tweet your questions at ThaPChild, at Lord__Fluffy. You can drop them in our Discord. There are links in the YouTube video. And if you're live right now, you can type !Discord or !ThaPChild, and it should show you all that stuff.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to have Quinn on. So if you want to get some questions into him, it's a good time to ask. And the first one we got this week comes from the Fisher Cat. He says, what inspired you and Lord Fluffy to start a podcast? Was there any issues you guys encountered getting started?
So many issues.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was something that I was thinking about for a long time. So I actually messaged Fluff and was like, hey, you want to do this thing? And Fluff was like, hell yeah, I've been thinking about doing that thing too. So it just it
was funny too, because I don't know if I've ever told you this, but like I had reached out to like Riker and I was like, have you ever like thought about it, and like why, like what's been stopping you from doing it? And I was like, would you think about doing it? Because I was thinking about doing like 2-3 people or something like that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I was like, I don't know that we'd ever see eye to eye on much. So I was like kind of hesitant. And then like that same, I think the same week or the week after or something, you like messaged me. But so I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So I wasn't really sure what Fluff was going to say when I asked. And it was kind of just an idea I had. I'm like, man, how cool would that be if we did it? And then once Fluff was like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, well, I guess this shit's happening.
Right.
So we started, it took us, man, it probably took us over a month before the first episode.
Sure.
Easy a month,
right.
maybe 2, because there was so much
to work
shit
out
that you had to work out. We had to work out, are we making a new channel? Are we using Fluff's channel? Are we my channel? Are we going to, who's YouTube? Who's doing what? Like we need a logo, we need a name.
Right.
How are we going to
layout?
Coordinate?
We gotta, right.
Yeah. I mean, it was like just so much, little things to work out. And like, how are we going to do the scheduling? How are we going to share files? How are we going to communicate? So it was kind of crazy, but I think the biggest thing that's been awesome for both of us is I think Fluff and I are actually like very responsible people.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's what you got to have a successful podcast, because being on time, being consistent, and being dedicated to actually doing it. And like, there are times like each of us kind of have our niche for the podcast on what we do and what we contribute. And so like Fluff does his job really well. I think I do my job very well, but we're both there every week. And like, I know Fluff's going to be there. I don't have to worry about, is he going to get his shit done? Is he going to be on time? Like, and that means a lot, because there's a lot of guys that you can't say that for.
Right.
They're like, oh shit, man, I'm not feeling good today. I'm not going to make the podcast. And you're just
like motherfuckers, gotta be consistent.
Like, come on, dude. So that's really big. But no, and then the rest has been history, I guess.
There's been so many glitches along the way. Like Skype was the thing at first, and then we had to move Discord.
I think Skype did it better still.
It did,
but it's just like Skype killed it. Like they destroyed the version of Skype we were using, and the new one wouldn't work anymore. So that led to audio problems and technical issues, and making like, so Fluff streams, so it's his audio always sounds good, just like his stream. My audio has to come through Discord and then get thrown out to the stream, so that's why I sound shittier. And it's like, I work so hard to get my audio to sound as good as I possibly
I was
can.
on I was on Dusky's podcast like a week ago, and like I have it's like you said, like my stuff for the people watching me is fantastic. But what I realized through that stream is like my audio, like going out to like someone else's Discord is like leaves something to be desired. And I even like bought a new soundboard to take care of, but it's like too big. So I was like I ended up saying like, fuck it. That's never going to happen. Like, but like it's crazy. Like all the things that like go into.
Yeah. It's I've spent countless hours, like probably 30, 40 hours just trying to get my audio to sound as good as I possibly can. So there's a lot of work that go behind the scenes of the podcast. It's just like streaming too. I think a lot of people think that you just turn the stream on and it's just it. And it's like, it's not. I work as much behind the scenes as I do actually, probably more than actually being live. And the podcast is the same. We put, the podcast is an hour and a half-ish each week. We both probably put 3 to 4 hours in a week to do the 1 hour of content that we do. So.
And Diablo doesn't make it easy. Like, you know, they got the Diablo 3 forums still, and you have to like scan those. And they stopped doing like where you could find Blue Post easy. Like, you really have to like search through the boards, and like the Diablo forums are just a mess, and Reddit's like all over the place. So it's not the most fun.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, once we get a game that's got content coming out all the time, like if this were a PoE podcast, it'd be
and imagine like if this was like an Apex podcast, and we could have like funny clips of the week and like shit like that. Like if Diablo's played more, like that'd be so amazing. But you know, we don't have any of that. There's been a lot of weeks where like, fuck, we're not gonna have any content, and like we're both struggling all over the internet to find something. But I mean, ultimately, we're both super passionate about it, so we can talk about it.
And it'll get. It's a drought, man. But the drought, I think, you know, if we stick through the drought when the content comes, it'll just make it that much better.
Yeah.
So, you know, eventually we'll get it. Right?
Could eventually be a 5-hour podcast.
Yeah. Key-Ray says, what do you think about the ARPG Dauntless? Just heard about it. It's like Monster Hunter, but free to play. I wouldn't call it an ARPG. I played Dauntless.
I did too.
I don't know. Yeah. So it was like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Exactly. Like Monster Hunter.
Would you think of that as ARPG? I mean,
no,
it's not like isometric like you normally think. It's like
over the shoulder. Yeah,
but it's just like Monster Hunter, man.
Yeah.
It was cool to me, honestly. I thought it was a good game. I got invited to play the beta of it. I think it was the beta. I don't know if it was alpha or beta, but I played it for several hours and got to do. You know, they had a lot of content available when I played, and it was fun.
Yeah, and I think that
if you're into Monster Hunter,
I didn't like that game, Dauntless, and I don't like Monster Hunter. I don't like that. But I think like Lost Ark kind of stole that. Like, so Lost Ark has the thing where you go out and you're trying to find, like, I think it was called Guardian, and it was like just a really, really tough mob, a really, really tough boss, and you would like go out there and you try to find him in a zone, and then you can find him, and then like maybe he disappeared and you have to like go find him. Like, I think that works actually really well in an ARPG. So hopefully whatever, you know, maybe next Diablo or next big game we see will have something like that.
Something Monster Hunter does that I think is really cool is like you go out and you have to kill, let's just say T-Rex. I don't remember what they called it in Monster Hunter, but it's this big T-Rex. And like you kill him, but if you kill him in a specific way when you fight him, like say you like keep attacking his tail and his tail will break off, and then that tail gives you a part, like a specific tail part that you need to craft a specific piece of gear. So it's like, oh, you need a T-Rex fang, or you need a T-Rex tail, or you need a T-Rex, you know, scale or liver or heart or whatever the case may be. And I think that system works really well for a farming mechanism too, because it's like, all right, you got to go out and find the T-Rex, then you got to have this long ass battle with them, but you can't just kill them. You have to like specifically target the pieces you need. Yeah. And it's cool, man. So Monster Hunter was fun. Obviously, those games have these big-ass clunky weapons that are just unwieldy until you get used to using them. That could be super frustrating.
Yeah. Lost Ark even had this thing where, like, say you were fighting the scorpion, and, like, you could eventually, like, keep it focusing its tail and maybe cut off its tail or, like, throw something at a particular moment to, like, disable the tail, and then you get, like, rewards. But they also had a thing where, if you kept the tail on, which made the fight, like, way harder, like, you would get other juice, which was really cool.
Yeah, that is. So like you said, so what do I think about Dauntless? It was fun. It's a free to play game, so you guys can all go check it out for free and see if you like it. If it's your thing, doesn't cost you a penny. Free. So it's totally cool. That's the awesome thing about free to play games, man. Like Warframe, PoE, Dauntless is another one. Shit, even StarCraft's free to play now. So like you can go check all those games out, and then if you like them, you can support the developers.
Yeah. You know? For sure.
Demonic Grizz said, what if there was not a thing as ARPGs and FPS? Would we still become streamers? What would you guys be streaming? I mean, I can stream anything, man. Like, I've been streaming a racing game the last 2 weeks.
Shit.
I've been playing a game called The Crew 2. It's it's literally an MMO racing game. Like, you know, car racing, Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit. I have a blast with it, so...
Right.
I like all video games. I really don't. I really think I like every genre. I can play sports games. I can play FPS. I can play ARPGs, RPGs, card games. I mean,
I was super into MMOs. Like I was in the #1 rating guild in the world for EverQuest 2 for a long time. And like I remember someone in my guild streamed, but I never really like knew what that was or followed up on it because he was just like, he was awful to talk to. So like I never wanted to talk to him outside of rating because he's just like this huge nerd.
So if you look back at your rating career, like, did you put up with extreme toxicity just to be on a good rating guild?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, like I'm the same. So like I was with and some of these guys have come and hung out in my stream since, like the ones that I liked. But there were people that I raided with that were so fucking toxic that I literally, I think I hated them, but I tolerated it because they were good at the game.
Right.
You know? And it was a thing in WoW where like we would be progressing mythic and it was heroic back then. But we'd be like, you know, the top 1 or 2 guilds on the server,
right,
or in our server or server cluster. And so like there really wasn't an alternative. If you wanted to do the content, you had to put up with that kind of shit. And like, man, I look back at that now and I think like, why did I put up with that shit, man? Like some of the things that people said in chat, like it's still like I can remember things that I can't repeat that just infuriate me. And at the time, I just put up with it. And it's like, man,
we had like people like screaming at each other every week. Like someone would quit the raid or they quit the guild every fucking week and they'd come back. And it was like so much fucking drama. It's like only 24 people in EverQuest 2. Fucking hell, man. It was awful.
That's what turns me off to raiding in WoW. And honestly, that's what turns me off to Classic. Like everybody's so hype about Classic coming back. And it's like I played vanilla. I played World of Warcraft from day fucking 1 when it launched. I was in a top ranked guild on the server. Like we completed all of vanilla content except for the very last raid that came, Nax Ramus, when it came out, which was nobody did that shit for reals. And unless you're like super high up in the ranks. And it was just like, dude, 40 people in Ventrilo is what it used to be. And it was like, God, I remember like you would have to globally mute the channel. And it was just so toxic. And I couldn't imagine trying to do that now. I couldn't imagine getting 40 people in a Discord server or something and having to listen to fucking keyboard clicks and clacks and sneezes and coughs and burps. Like people that burp in the mic drive me. I can't stand that shit. I'm like, oh my God, really?
Can you imagine like if you had to get like Diablo, say Diablo was actually hard and it was like a raid boss or something. Like just getting still in this day and age, especially with like the population as we see it in Diablo, man, that'd be tough. That'd be really tough.
If you could get like, so the coolest thing that WoW ever did, in my opinion, is when they made the 10-man raids. When they split and they made a 10-man and a 25-man, and they had the same loot. It's just 25 had a better chance to drop more loot. Right?
And was it better loot?
A small
than
penalty.
The 10-man?
It was the same loot originally. It was the same loot, or at least at some point in time, it was the same loot. I think it was Pandaria, and 25-man would drop more pieces, so there was more loot per person in 25-man versus 10, but it was the same quality of loot.
Was it the same lockout? Or could you do both?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was the same lockout.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was.
Sorry, keep going.
But that got changed and shit, you know, of course, went away. But I actually liked that quite a bit, and a lot of people didn't. And the reason I did is because it's so much easier to get 10 chill people in a group than it was to get 25.
100%.
And so it's like if I
if you like I said with the Apex is like they had three-man squads, which is like it's really fucking small for like a game, you know, like we think 3 people but it's like fuck, man, it's nice because it's like it's so hard, especially the older you get, like getting friends on to game with
people,
like it's there's been like 3 times where we've had to be like, shit, we got one more person on, we can't play with you. But 90% of the time it's like, yeah, sweet.
And I've had that problem with Diablo where it's like 4-man groups. Oh man, there's 8 of us on right now. There's 7 of us on. But that's more and more now I can't even get groups, which is crazy. But I think it'd be cool to have smaller raid teams, and it just made me think about how toxic raiding was. And it's like people are so hyped for vanilla. And I'm like, let's just see how this plays out, man. Once you guys get in some of these, like, how much toxicity are you guys willing to put up with to get the pieces of loot that you want? You know, I guess that's kind of the question.
Yeah.
Onion said, "What weapon would you want from the Marvel universe, excluding the Infinity Stones?" Weapon?
I don't really know anything.
Power? I mean, can we take like one of their powers? I guess.
A weapon? The only weapons like Thor's hammer and the weird axe thing.
Thor's hammer. I'd take Stormbreaker as his axe.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
And Mjolnir was the hammer.
That's the only weapons I know.
Okay, let's just. What would you pick between the two?
I mean, they both do the same thing. The axe or the hammer, right?
Well,
one's sharp and one's blunt. I mean, I don't know.
I would take the axe, I think.
Yeah, it seems more powerful, so I guess I'd go with that. Yeah. But I don't know.
I mean, his hammer gets broken like all the time in the comics, and movies, and it's just always broken. So,
okay.
Give me the axe. I don't know. Well, let's just say to powers. Whose power would you take? Like, would you want Tony Stark's armor? You want to be Iron Man? Would you want to be Cap? Would you want to be Hulk? Like, whose power do you get? Let's just say you get the good sides, none of the negatives.
Fuck. I don't know, man. Like, I like Tony Stark's armor. It's kind of like I would almost pick Spider-Man because Spider-Man's like strong without the juice, like without the Iron Man juice. Mm-hmm. But now he's getting like the Iron Man juice too. So it's like, yeah.
So does he fly in the Spider-Man suit? Like, I'm just thinking.
I think he could.
Like, obviously Iron Man flies. Why wouldn't Iron Man put some flight capabilities in Spider-Man's
suit?
I
think it's like nanotech or whatever, right? So it can do anything at once, right? So you could just like make jets and it would do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody in chat said Thor's powers. Thor's powers would be cool too. So I'm with you.
What, being a dreamboat? With abs?
And lightning and shit.
I'll take that.
I don't. Okay, I would pick Iron Man's.
Okay.
Iron Man.
I'll go Spider-Man.
That's who I go with. Okay. Let's see. Zyways says, say you were put in charge of the D3 team right now.
Ooh.
What would you do for season 17, assuming that you can make a few minor changes? And then what plans would you have for midterm, like season 18, 19, and long-term season 20?
Easy, man. Easy. Day one, go in. Ask who's keeping thorns in the game right now for Necro. Mm-hmm. You're fired.
Okay. Hold on. I'm behind you. I'm with you, right? I'm on this team. I was saying, who put Juggernauts in the game?
Yes. Who is that? Get him out of here.
All right. No, I'm not going to fire him. Oh, I'm going to fire him. He's now a janitor. He's a janitor. He is in charge of cleaning my personal restroom from office. No, in all seriousness, though, for 17, I don't really know. I mean, there's not any time. You got a week. Let's just assume.
Easy. Time. I got this easy. I got you. So
what you got?
Barb doesn't have anything coming, and the clearest, fastest path to give them something is to buff Oathkeeper. Oathkeeper is the one. Put a damage modifier on it. Big one. Easy. That's it. That's what I'm giving you guys for
some lawn, some lawn barb. Yep. Okay, I'm with you on that. That's a great change. For season 18 or 19, I'm going to actually redesign some sets. I'm going to change things so we're going to have time to work on those. I'm going to remove duplicate spells from multiple sets. Wave of Light's my example.
Yeah, 100% on that.
Give it to something.
Yeah.
Sun Wuko's now Wave of Light.
Right.
Inna's is going to be something else.
Right.
Monkey's something else.
Sure.
And I'm going to try to get something different for Lon, even. So I'm going to try to do that across the board, and then maybe completely redesign a set or introduce a new set for every class.
Right. I would, I'd be hesitant
about.
That's a lot.
That's a lot for
I would. Okay, so I'm with you. Like I would redesign new sets because again, we talk about week after week. It's like it's not quantum physics. It's 2-piece do something weird, 4-piece. Mitigation, 6-piece damage modifier. Like it's not like this crazy fucking thing. So obviously coming out with more sets, I'd be careful about the revamp, but there's obviously like with a whirlwind set having Rend on it, like it's come on guys, like let's get this fixed. And like some other sets that has some really obvious things like Army of the Dead for Rathma, like what's it doing? Why is it here?
Right.
So stuff like that. But I wouldn't too much.
Season 17.
Right.
One more season 17 change.
Okay.
I'm adding Sage pieces in every single slot.
Every single slot.
Every slot can have a Sage piece. That way, maybe, and I don't even know if that's a fix. I haven't broken it down, but just on the top of my head, I'm thinking like I want to get sages into more classes than the two that you can currently effectively run it with.
Right.
We need to get sages everywhere. So I think if you put it in every slot, maybe not weapons, but every slot, you could potentially work it out.
Sure. Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
I don't know. We'd have to see.
Yeah.
But fixed sages would be on my list, and you know, I'm sure it wouldn't take but a couple hours to figure out ways to make it work for everybody.
Right.
So.
Sure.
And then season 20, the end game, the long game.
The end game.
I'm producing content, man. I'm getting out.
Yeah, new sets. Obviously,
new
anything,
sets,
any
new
legendary.
class.
That's the dream. Any legendary that is in the game does something and it's not fucking worthless. So when you get a legendary, it means something again. I would get rid of bad stat rolls like fucking armor on rings and bullshit like that. Like, get them out of here so that when you see a primal drop or you see an ancient drop, the chances of that being good is like infinitely better because there's no longer these crazy worthless fucking stats.
Fixed quivers and crusader shields where they don't have every stat on them.
A condemn crusader
but that's a season 17
shield.
fix. I mean, how long does it take to remove shit from an item?
I don't fucking know.
Dude, could it take that long? I mean, you go to the item, delete.
Yeah.
Like, boom, fixed. Done.
Yeah.
But for season 20, though, 20 plus, I mean, that's, a year from now.
Yeah.
Could you get an expansion out in a year? I would, maybe. I mean, if you have a team.
No.
Year and a half.
I mean, well, we got to be realistic. So we're talking about, we're taking over the Diablo 3 team, which is like not a team anymore. It's basically classic games. So it's like our asset pool is pretty small. It's like
then it's got to be long games, got to be sets.
Yeah, new sets.
That's really all you can do.
Quality of life.
Maybe introduce new items.
New items, improvements to old legendaries, bad stats being gone.
It would be really cool to figure out a new in-game content.
Oh yeah,
that would.
And you could steal. You could steal anything from PoE. You literally could.
Yeah, if it could slide in with greater rifting to where it doesn't have to be the end game. Right. You're not replacing greater rifting. You're just adding something else to do with it. That would be ideal.
Yep.
For the long game, to
100%.
give us something else to chase. So. Lindenberg says Quinn got invited to BlizzCon 2019. Any chance you guys got invitations? I mean, I know Blizzard watches the podcast. I would.
We know one guy watches the podcast. Probably.
Throw me an olive branch. Extend that olive branch.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I didn't get invited.
No, I didn't.
Awesome if
you would
did.
know, but. Yeah, no. Well, we don't know that anyone. I don't watch a lot of Diablo streamers right now because I'm really, really busy. But I don't know that other streamers haven't been invited. Other more popular or more loved Diablo streamers.
I'm sure, like the handful of guys that get invited every year probably got invited again.
Probably.
So. But no, so Blizzard. Get at me. You know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Reach out to me on Twitter, dude.
I'll give you my cell number if you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I won't even have to fly first class this year. Just just a plane ticket.
Maester May just says, if you could have dinner with one celebrity, who would it be and what would you have for dinner?
Ooh. Margot Robbie. Man. No, I'm kidding.
So is it somebody that's gonna get me divorced or somebody that's not?
Learn from. Well, just say
what's on this menu. Do I get to pick anything that's on the menu for dinner? Because
we'll say, like someone that you would like just love to like get in their mind and like just sit down and have a good conversation with.
I'm a really big sports fan, basketball fan in general. For me, it would be Kobe Bryant. I'm a huge Kobe fan. I'd like to meet Kobe. I'd hang out with Kobe.
You asking about the whole rape thing?
Oh, damn. This video is definitely getting flagged on YouTube. So you guys
seen that Daniel Tosh stand up? He's like, why don't they like me? Oh, it's the rape thing. Are you sure?
This video will probably appear on YouTube around the 20th. So. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's Fluff's fault because they're going to flag those words.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I'm sure I'd ask him. I mean, why not? You know, like I want to know.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, Kobe.
Right.
Wink once if you did it. Wink twice if you're innocent. You know.
Sure. Honestly, for me, I don't know, like someone that's like just super intellectual, like maybe like Stephen Fry or somebody like that. Just have like a crazy philosophical conversation or something about life,
That's such
the
a
world.
lame answer.
It isn't?
Okay.
Is it?
That's lame.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a sellout. I might pick Kevin Hart just so I could laugh my ass off, man. Kevin Hart seems like he'd be fun as hell to be around. I want to have fun.
I want to broaden my like mind and horizons, but you just want to laugh. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to laugh. I want to have a good time.
Yep.
I can read his book later. I'll read Stephen Fry's
Yeah, that's
books
the
later.
same.
Like,
Yeah. I can watch Kevin Hart's movie. It's the same, right?
I guess. Okay. I'm with you. That's it, man. That's all the questions we had. So, if you have questions for next week, like I said, I've been saying it a couple times in case you guys weren't here for the beginning of the podcast. Quinn's on next week. Quinn 69. It's gonna be our 52nd episode.
Yeah.
1 solid year of the New Meta podcast. So it's been awesome, man. It's been a fun little journey that we've had together, dude.
Yep.
So it'll be cool. Get those questions submitted to @ThaPChild, @Lord__Fluffy. Join our Discords, and you can use the podcast sections that we have for that.
Gonna be juicy. 52.
Cool.
Next week.
52.
And again, guys, it starts 1
again.
hour earlier than normal.
Yeah, again.
To
Yep,
line
I forgot
up
to
with
say that
his
in the beginning.
schedule. Because he's in
Yep.
New Zealand time. And he's obviously
Yep.
way more
We don't
his
wanna
time's
make
way
him
more
stay up till,
valuable than us. So
6 in the morning.
Right,
So
right.
we're starting at 8 Central Time, 1 hour earlier than
Yep.
usual.
So beware of that. But we'll see you guys next week. Episode 52. Peace out, dudes.